giving me 5 minutes with the solicitor? There's a few things I want to ask her.
Oh, no problem. Look, just be outside if you want us. Come on.
Feeling all right, Mrs. Sullivan?
Not really, no. Why on earth didn't you question that awful woman?
She struck me as a very brazen person who would respond to questions by pouring out all her claims all over again. I didn't want to give her that opportunity.
Well, I just hope you know what you're doing. Do you think the case is going against me, then?
No point playing guessing games. Let's just wait and see.
You can take an early lunch break if you like. I'll hang on till Tuck gets back.
Right, that suits me fine.
And now that you're back from your holiday, there's something I'd like to ask you.
Well, I don't want to discuss my non-wedding or how I feel now about Kieran.
Well, that's great, because neither do I.
Oh.
No. I'd like to go on holiday myself. With Maya. So how would you feel about running the place while I'm away?
Well, if you think I'm up to it and you can trust me.
Well, of course I do.
And if I have enough help, maybe Todd can put more hours in.
Well, fine. I'll ask him.
No problem. Bon voyage.
We'll have 2 glasses of the house red, please. Is that all right for you, Eileen?
Yeah. Well, you were the last person I expected to see, Harry.
Who did you think it was going to be, then?
I didn't think it was going to be anyone, except our Jason. I thought him and Candice were up to something.
Well, they were. I'll be straight with you, Eileen, because if I found out one thing in this life, it's that lying to ladies only gets you into trouble. I didn't answer any Lonely Hearts advert Candice roped me in.
Oh, see. I just feel really embarrassed now.
Hey, well, don't be. Candice didn't have to twist my arm to get me here, you know. I wanted to come, and that's the truth.
Why was that? I mean, you're not telling me that you've been fancying me from afar for months but just didn't know how to speak.
No, there's 2 reasons why I'm here. One of them is Candice. She really wanted to get you on this mystery date. Thought you'd get a buzz out of it, and that's her expression, not mine. She's a nice kid, isn't she, underneath all that hard-boiled teenage front she puts on.
There you go.
Thanks. And the other reason?
Well, the other reason is, I can't remember when I last had a meal out with a lady, so, this is my pleasure. Cheers.
Cheers.
Sunita.
Hello.
You're a sight for sore eyes. Look at this. You were missed. Did you have a good holiday?
Yes, thank you.
All I want to hear all about is just give me a minute and I'll be right with you.
Well, I came in for a word with Shelley, really.
Hello, love. Oh, it's lovely to see you. Kieran, could you go and get us some extras from the centre?
All right. You don't go anywhere.
How can he be like that? As if nothing's ever happened. It's like we're a couple of old mates.
That's Kieran for you. If they said on the news that the world was going to end at 6 o'clock, he'd take it in his stride. Now, what are you drinking?
That's just what he'd say.
No, this is me saying it. You have a wine with me?
Yeah, go on then. I've been really dreading seeing him, really. And Dev, too. Just don't want a big inquest into why I couldn't go through with wedding.
Do you regret what you did? Do you wish you'd have married him?
No.
Oh. Well, that's all right, then. And don't worry. You can handle Kieran, and Dev for that matter. And I tell you this, after what you did, neither of them will ever take you for granted ever again. Typical men. They thought they had you weighed up. Well, now they know better. Cheers, love.
Cheers.
Oh, Mum, I'm starving. Can we go chip shop?
No, come with Ella's like. We need to stay here and see what happens. Here, I found a toffee for you.
It's got all fluff on it.
Well, it's that or nothing. Hey, from what Les tells me, you were dead good, our Chesney, telling the tale in there. Weren't you, Les?
Highly convincing. As good as a policeman.
I'm proud of you. Florida, here we come.
Do you reckon?
I can feel it in my water. We're gonna win.
I don't know. Anything can happen in these courts, you know. Sometimes they get it right.
What's up with you? Anybody think you wanted Rita Sullivan to get off?
I'm not saying that.
Just as well. Because if we don't win today, bang goes as compensation, and you know our Chesney set his little heart on this holiday.
I can't stand that woman.
Just as well her and Les Battersby have got together. At least they're not making two other people's lives a misery.
What are those magistrates doing? I don't know why they had to come out of court. It's perfectly obvious Rita's innocent.
Only to those people who know her, I'm afraid, Norris.
You'd be best getting back into court. Magistrates will be returning any minute now. Not you, young man. You're not old enough. You have to stay out here with Tom.
Oh, it's not fair. What's even fun?
Stop moaning. You stay here with this nice gentleman and don't give him any cheek. Come on, Les. It's jackpot time.
What a brilliant idea for the wedding.
Oh, blimey. Here we go again.
Oh, put a sock in it, will you, Karen? We're sick of hearing about your wedding arrangements.
You're just saying that. Trying to wind me up.
We're not trying to wind you up, we're trying to shut you up.
I love hearing about weddings. Yes, Ailey. You're the only one who's honest about it, because these love it. It's just they're a bit jealous, you know, because they haven't got a wedding coming up.
I've had 2 marriage proposals in the last week. I think I can get married any time I fancy.
And I've had all the weddings I want, thank you. That's what being married to Les does for you.
Yeah, but we're talking about my wedding, aren't we? Right, so I was thinking, do you remember when Posh and Bex got married and they had thrones to sit on, you know, so that they could receive the guests?
If you think I'm going to drop you a curtsy, lady, you've another thing coming.
Janice, it's my big day. Hang on a minute.
Quick, let's make a run for it while she's talking.
Come on, Ella.
You all right, Auntie Eva? Hey, yeah, nice to hear from you. What? Yeah, it's terrible. I know. What am I going to do?
Hey, we're splitting the bill, you know.
We are not splitting the bill. Do I look like some kind of gigolo?
No, I can honestly say that you do not look like a gigolo.
Oh, so you wouldn't recommend a career change in that direction, then?
Yeah, well, I'm not applying to any model agencies either.
Well, that's us sorted, then. No, where were we? Oh, why, your lads? Must have been pretty tough on you, bringing them up single-handed.
Yeah, it was. Mind you, it's my own fault for being rotten at picking men.
Been a bit hard on yourself, aren't you? And I'll tell you what, I think you did a good job, because they're both nice lads.
Well, thank you. Glad you think so. So what about you, Harry? Any kids?
Me? No. How's your pizza?
The defendant will stand. We find the case proved and the defendant guilty.
Yes! Don't believe it.
You going back home then, Betty?
Yeah, tomorrow. The decorators are finishing today.
We'll miss you living in, Betty. We really will.
I can't tell you how grateful I am for, putting me up and putting up with me.
Oh, give over. It's been a pleasure.
Oh.
I bet you'd be glad to be back in your own home again, though.
Yes, I dare say I will. I tell you something. I shall miss having the company.
It's the same for me. I'm on my own again, too.
Oh.
Thank you, Kieran. Thank you, sir. Oh, by the way, any news from the magistrate's court? Not that I've heard, Ken.
Well, Blanche rang a while back. She said the case is still going on, and Rita is getting a right going over from your little brother's solicitor.
Oh, well, that'll make me mum happy, seeing Rita having a hard time.
In view of your hitherto unblemished record, and indeed your age, we do not consider there is any necessity for a custodial sentence. On the other hand, the court takes a severe view of assaults on young people and believes that such behaviour must be discouraged. You will pay a fine of £500. Further to this, you are ordered to pay compensation to your victim in the sum of, again, £500. Do you wish to ask for time to pay?
No. But I tell you what I do wish for. I wish you lot up there had an ounce of common sense between you.
Sit down, Mrs. Sullivan.
You sit up there, laying down the law. It's pathetic. You haven't a clue. You've sat there swallowing a pack of lies off a little lad who's had a trumped-up tale drummed into him by his mother and a fancy man.
Sit down, madam, and be
if
quiet.
If you three had any judgment at all, you'd see through people like that. And what's more, you'd want to do something about people who coach a child into telling lies so they can make money out
Madam,
of it.
I advise you for the last time, be quiet.
She's innocent. There's not a more decent, honest woman in this town. And if she swears she's not guilty, you can believe...
Silence in court!
Somebody said the law was an ass. And by hell, how right they are.
Security! Remove this woman. I am holding you, madam, in contempt of court.
Shame on you, man. You're a disgrace.
I advise you to think carefully about your behaviour.
This isn't justice. It's a mockery.
Norris, stay out of it.
That man in the public seats. Take him down as well.
What? I'm not on trial here, you know. I haven't done anything apart from speak.
We won, Ches, we won! Justice was done.
Justice, my backside.
Oh, you prejudice, you lot. Just 'cause one of your pals got shown up for what she is.
Yeah, all right, Scylla. Let's be off, eh? The lad wants feeding.
You played a blinder, Ches. Come on, we'll get you a burger and some fries. And then we'll go and celebrate in the Rovers.
Celebrate? I hope it chokes you. If there'd been justice here today, you'd be behind bars.
Oh, take no notice of them. They're just bad losers. But we're not finished with Rita Sullivan. Not by a long chalk. We're gonna get you proper compensation for what you suffered.
What are we going to do?
Not much we can do, is there? Might as well go home.
Well, you go, Blanche, and you too, Audrey, but I think I'll stay. I don't want to walk away till I find out what's happening to Rita.
Hey, I'm not leaving you here on your own.
Oh, well, I'll stay and all. I mean, let's go and see if we can find that solicitor. She'll know the score.
Come on, Deb. Take me to lunch.
Just hold your horses. I need a word with Todd.
You can have a word with Todd after lunch.
No, because what I talked to you about over lunch depends on what Todd has to say to me now. Now, Todd, you're always asking for extra hours, aren't you?
You know me, Dev. I'm always glad of the money.
Good. I'm taking her on holiday.
We're definitely going.
If you like. There's Morocco grab you.
Oh. If you're asking me to go with you to the Casbah, it grabs me like this.
Yeah. I'll take that to yes.
Thanks, Steve. Cheers, Eric. Right, I'll see you later then. Turn up to work sober, won't you?
You cheeky monkey. Fancy a pint with the Rovers?
Well, I would, but I've things to get done, so another time, eh?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Well, I've enjoyed lunch with you, Eileen. I'd more or less forgotten what a civilised pleasure it is to have a meal with somebody and chat across a table.
Yeah, it was nice. Look, are you sure I can't split the bill with you?
Positive. Like I said, it was my pleasure. Your lad and Candice between them had done me a favour. So I'll see you soon, eh?
Yeah. See you, Harry.
Oh, I don't know what came over me. I mean, it's not like me, is it, to go shouting the odds? But when he said guilty, I couldn't contain myself.
That was only too obvious. Well, I'll tell you the same as I'm telling Mr. Sullivan. You go back into court and you apologise to the magistrates.
You mean it's not enough that I'm made out to be a criminal? I've now got to go back in there and thank them for doing that to me.
It's not quite that bad. You're not admitting guilt. You're simply saying sorry for abusing the magistrates. Rightly or wrongly, they're just doing their duty to the best of their abilities.
Well, I don't think much of their abilities.
Fair enough, but keep that to yourself when you're standing in their court. Because until you come up with some kind of apology, you won't be going home. Do you understand that?
Well, one thing I do understand. Norris shouldn't suffer for what I've said. You tell him you're sorry, Norris, because I want you back in the cabin this afternoon. Keep the shop going and get the papers out on time.
No, Rita. I'm with you all the way down the line on this one. I mean, it's not that I want to go to prison, because I don't. I mean, I wouldn't relish being used as a plaything by hardened criminals. And it does go against the grain, but, well, I think perhaps I could bring myself to apologise for shouting at the magistrates, provided you do the same. I mean, well, it's a loyalty thing, isn't it? I mean, one out, all out, so to speak.
I've been looking for you for ages. Where have you been?
Well, I've been out making a living driving the cab.
Steve, I don't know how to tell you this. I mean, it's just terrible.
Nothing's happened to my mum, has it?
What? No, it's worse than that. I've lost my bridesmaid. You know, our Debbie, she's gone and got chicken pox. Well, the other's bound to get it, so they've got to be in quarantine for 2 weeks.
Is that it? I thought someone was at death's door then.
Is that it, Steve? I've lost my bridesmaids. The wedding's going to be ruined.
Well, calm down. All you got to do is get new bridesmaids.
What are my cousins? Can't just get new bridesmaids, Steve. You know, they've got to be suitable. They've got to be right.
Look. I happen to know that there's only one thing that matters about bridesmaids. That they mustn't be as beautiful as the bride. So you've got the whole world to choose from because, babe, you is the most beautifulest.
Just trying to soothe me over now.
Well, yeah.
Well, don't stop. I think I quite like it.
All I can say by way of mitigation, I think that's the right word. Mitigation,
Yes, yes, go on, man.
You see, well, it was an instinctive reaction to her distress. I mean, knowing Mrs. Sullivan like I do, and knowing her to be one of the straightest, most upright persons you could wish to meet on a long day's march.
Yes.
I got carried away. I got carried away in the emotion of the time, you see, and I very much regret that, you see, because I've always prided myself on my ability to keep a stiff upper lip, so I'm truly sorry.
As magistrates, we feel it is vital to protect and foster that respect for the majesty of law without which we are as beasts of the field. In apologising, as you have, we can accept that your devotion to your wife carried you...
Oh, no, sorry, excuse me, I don't want to mislead anybody. Mrs. Sullivan and I are not married.
Ah, I assumed...
We're friends. I think I can claim that, but it goes no further than that, you see. It's the fact that we work together...
You're free to go.
No,
you may leave the court.
Yes, but I don't want to get any wrong impression,
Sit down! We come now to Mrs. Sullivan.
Ta-da! Ask us who won then.
Are you saying they found Rita guilty?
Of course they did. 500 quid fine plus 500 quid compy for our Chesney. And that's only the start. We're going to sue Rita Snotty Sullivan for a damn sight more than that.
That's what it's all about, isn't it? Money. Never mind what you have to do to get it.
Hey, that's your mother you're talking to.
Yeah, don't I flaming know it?
I don't believe Rita ever hit your lad. She's not the type.
Now, come on. I've caught her being snotty towards our Craig a couple of times.
Yeah, it's not the same as belting a kid, though, is it?
All I'm saying is you don't know what she's capable of. Oh. Another pint, please, Betty.
No, I know what Rita's capable of.
Hey, I only want a pint.
Well, get somebody else to serve you.
Come on, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I'll serve you. What is that pint?
I want Betty to serve it.
Well, you'll have to want then, won't you?
She's upset over her friend. Just be reasonable. It will taste just the same with me pulling it.
Ain't anybody going to congratulate us? Well, you miserable lot.
My client wishes to apologise unreservedly for her unfortunate outburst. In a moment of great stress, she
With the greatest of respect, Miss Mirrelson, we wish to hear the apology from Mrs. Sullivan herself.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Mrs. Sullivan.
Well, if I'm trying to explain myself, when I heard the verdict, I was totally shocked. I couldn't believe that you'd decided I was guilty.
We are not here to retry your case. You've had a fair hearing.
You might think it's fair. I certainly don't. I stood here and I was on oath and I told you the truth. And you listened to a fairy story, codged up by people who'd scrabble through a dustbin if they thought they could make a bob or two out of it.
Mrs. Sullivan.
And not only did you listen, you believed it. When anyone with half a brain could suss out it was a put-up job designed to be a set-up for a claim for compensation.
I give you final warning.
And because you're a bunch of numbskulls, I'm landed with a criminal record, while the real criminals are out celebrating. Well, if you think that's justice, I think you're not fit to be sat up there.
You are in contempt of court. You will be remanded into custody. Security, take this woman down.
We're your neighbours and all, you know. Why aren't you feeling glad for us?
Because we all feel very sorry for Rita. Would have thought that was obvious.
You think I'm rubbish, don't you?
No, I
Well,
don't.
you should, Ken, because she is rubbish.
I have had it.
Hey!
Don't want any rough stuff.
Look. Why don't we all just have a quiet drink? Deirdre, you'll have a drink, won't you? I'm buying.
Oh, yes, you're buying. With the money you're screwing out of Rita, it'd choke me.
Shelley, we'll get our lunch somewhere else, yeah?
I thought you wanted hot pot.
Change their minds.
Yeah, go on, buzz off. We're good enough to buy stuff in your piddling little shop, but you wouldn't have a drink with us. Well, who needs you?
Calm down, will ya? She's frightening me customers.
We're customers and all. Yeah. And I bet we spend more money in here than any of them.
Oh, putting it, Les.
Blanche, we know that Rita lost her case.
That's not all she's lost.
What do you mean?
She gave the magistrates a mouthful. She wouldn't crawl and say she was sorry, so they've locked her up for the night.
Oh, they put her in the cells.
Well, it's her own fault. She asked for it and she got it.
Right. Come on, Scylla. We'll have a drink in the Flying Horse.
They can't keep her in prison, can they?
If she doesn't apologise, they can and they will.
You'll have to make yourself as comfortable as you can, dear. I bet you wouldn't say no to a mug of tea, would you? I bet you've had no dinner, neither. I'll find you something. There. You seem a sensible lady to me. You won't do anything silly, will you? All the same, you understand. I had to take your bag off you. Make sure there's nothing you shouldn't have. I'll see you get it back. But I'll have to shut you in. I'll get you that tea as soon as I've got